Welcome back. We are going to look at cleaning up some of our web pages a little bit. We're going to get a little bit more into how Django allows us to make things a little more complicated than we've seen so far, and take advantage of some things that you see on a pretty regular basis. So the first thing I want to do is we're going to add a new pattern, and this is going to be our default. So we're going to come in and we're going to create a new new pattern, and it's going to be views. Let's call this homepage, which is what we've had before, but we're going to change this up just a little bit. And we're going to, similarly, we're going to have an about page. And we'll call that about. So we've got two pages here that we're working on, home page and about page. Now, home page and about page, and I'm going to do these. So I'm going to have a home page with just request and an about page. And these are going to render two pages. Let's do it like this. We'll just grab that. Let's actually change, over to URLs. We're going to call this, let's see, that'll be add page. And so we can sort of still get to that when we need to. Views. So we've got a home page. This will be add page. So we're moving some stuff around here. And for right now, I don't really need any parms. Well, let's just do that. We'll add, let's just have a message in case we need that later. And we will just give it, we'll make it blank for now, just in case we want to send something. So now we're going to create, we'll just call it homepage, if I can spell it right, and about page. So now to get those, I need to go into templates. I'm going to take default and I'm going to duplicate it. And I'm going to duplicate it again. And one, I'm going to rename to homepage. And the second one, default to, I'm going to rename to about page. So homepage, we're going to call it, this is the homepage. And the second one I want to do is save it that way. And about page is going to be, this is the about page. Let's do it this way. Your application is awesome. We'll get really crazy with that. And so now we've got those two pages. I've added some pages to our application now based on nothing, sending nothing. So we've got a home. We should see a home now, and we'll see an about. So if we go over to, well, let's just check to make sure no errors. And so now, if we go to our website, we get the home page for default. And if we go to about, we get the about page. So we've got these couple of pages. That's nice. It's fine and dandy. We've done some stuff with it. But now, let's think about those. So let's say we want a footer. And we'll give it a class, even though we're not going to do much with it right now. And let's see. Let's just say copyright. I'll do developerpreneur. Developerpreneur. 2020, all rights reserved. So let's do something very simple like that. But now we want to have that on both of our pages. That means we have to go over here and we have to do that. And now let's also put a little header. And let's say up at the top, we're going to do, actually, let's do it a little more complicated. We're going to do a table with a row. And we're going to do, let's add a few things. So we're going to do home page, about, and task. And let's see if, so now we can go to, and we're going to make those actually, we're going to actually make some navigation here. So let's do it this way. Home, about, and task. And he's going to be, whoop, so he's going to go to task. He's going to go to about. He's going to go to home. Oh, he's going to go here. And actually, let's do this. So now, that header section, let's say we want to put that on both of our, and let's do this. Let's give ourselves a little space there. So now we want to do it on our home page, or about page as well. So we can come in, and if we go back here and we reload it, then we're going to see we've got our little header section, we've got our little footer section for the about, and of course we've got it on the home page. But it's no fun, well, maybe not fun, but it's not very good if we have to duplicate stuff everywhere. So Django takes care of that and gives us the opportunity to inherit and also to import. So let's start with a template inheritance. It's going to be probably the easier way to do, well, there's a couple ways you can do it, but this is one way that you may do it. So we're going to create now. Let's go back to, well, let's duplicate. So let's create a new page, and we're going to call this, we're going to rename them first. We're going to call him base. So we have, not sure why I have a lot of stuff running on that, but that's okay. Let's see. So we have base. And now let's do this. So what we want to do is we really want, with each of our pages, we want this header to be there. We want the footer to be there. And then we want some, to do something else with it. So let's start from that. So let's go to our base. And what we're going to do is we've got, and let's just do it this way. We're going to do this so we can remember this later. So we've got some header stuff. And then we've got some footer stuff. And now, so we've got some content. The way that content is addressed or highlighted, I guess, or tagged in the Django world is through what is called blocks. So I can take this part out. This is my base. And I can say here, if I can find my percent, I do block content. And then I just have to do an end block. And so in doing so, that means that I can actually define blocks that are going to be shoved into that. And the way we do that is, let's go to look at the home page. And let's say I take this, take out the header, take out the footer, and now I'm going to come in and I'm going to make it a block. And so I do that by saying, very similarly, block content. And I go to the end, and it's going to be an end of a block. So if I do that, oops, but that doesn't have a space in it. If I do that, then that's saying that this is some content that I have blocked off. I'm going to put that in the About page as well. Do this a little differently. So I can get rid of the header now. And I'm going to replace that block content and get rid of the footer. And now I've got very small pages because I'm pushing a lot of stuff into this base. Now the only thing left to do is to say, where do I get the base for homepage? And in that case, it gives me here, I'm going to tell it that it's going to extends base.html. So I've got to put quotes on it. Let's take that. Let's save that page and then go over here. It extends the base. And so now I can go back to my page and I'm going to see that now, even though I didn't have those, I've got all that information. And now let's say if I want to change stuff, whoops, let's duplicate this real quick. And let's say, we're going to rename this to, let's call it internal. In case you wanted an internal and external. So let's go to this internal. Well, let's say base, let's say it doesn't have a task on it. And that's good enough. But it does have, let's do it this way. It has a login, which isn't going to do anything right now. But we will come back to that. And let's say on the other one, the internal, that one assumes we're logged in and gives us a log out. So I've gone in, I've got these. Now, granted, I'm simplifying this because I've really got two different pages and there's only 2 pages, but you could see where this would be very useful, where you have maybe for authenticated users and not authenticated users. They would have very different things that they would use, especially, for example, your login stuff. I mean, your menus and stuff like that. Your menu options are going to be different. So if I'm at the home page, I flipped those 2. So if I'm at the About page, I can log in. Oops, I didn't rechange them, did I? I did everything. So if I go to internal is About, instead I'm going to extend internal. So now I can log in. It's going to say log in if I'm outside, but if I'm, quote, inside, now it's going to tell me to log out. So I can do some playing around very simply by doing extends. I may do this with, for example, forms. Maybe there's certain things I want to do there. Maybe there are things that are authenticated a certain way, certain level of security, profile pages versus display, reading, editing pages. There's a lot of different ways you can use that, but it does give us a start at being able to really templatize our pages, our site, and our layout, and allow pages to very quickly take advantage of that. So that's all I want to cover on this episode, but we will continue into this the next time around. In our next meeting, we're going to continue moving forward with this and start putting a few more things together and start making this look more and more like an application. And until then, have yourself a great one. We'll talk to you next time.